Hey everyone, this is Pastor Nat from Back to the Bible, and you are joining us on Win the Day. Today we're going to talk about how to recover from an affair. On more than one occasion, I've gotten into a fight with my wife over the phone. Now, this doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, and I know that when I come home, I've got two options. I can either hide or I can go and make things right. You see, I know that if I come home with a marital altercation and I act like it didn't happen, I'm going to be on the couch for a long time. You see, I can't draw near to my wife until I remove my pride and restore the relationship. Our relationship with God, it isn't any different. Our pride drives a wedge between God and us. And before we draw near to Him, we need to make things right. How? This is what James says in James chapter 4, beginning in verse 8. Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Be miserable, and mourn, and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning, and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and He will exalt you. One of the misconceptions in our faith is forever forgiveness means perpetual harmony in our relationship with God. But our affairs with this world, they cannot be dismissed. We all struggle with pride and cheating on God. Thankfully, God is always forgiving of His children, and He wants a whole relationship with us. In case you forget or maybe haven't been here for a while, James has been talking about what it means to live like a Christian. Now, our lifestyle doesn't save us, but it does reveal our hearts. In chapter 4, James talks about the danger and destructiveness of our pride and selfish ambition. It is disruptive in our community and in our communion with God. We need to come back to God. We need to be repentant and submit to Him. Why do we do this? What's the benefit? Well, we have restored fellowship and overflowing grace when we do. In verse 8, James says, draw near to God, and He will draw near to you. This is the right response as we humble ourselves and submit to God as King. We rededicate our love and our allegiance. So we begin to mourn our pride. We anguish over our sin. Not because we're going to get whacked by God. Not because we're in jeopardy of losing our salvation. We mourn. We humble ourselves. And we draw near to God because we hurt our beloved friend. So we return to Him humble. We are ready to commit again fully. And what will God do? It says He will exalt us. Why? Because to God, we are His masterpiece, even when we have an affair with this world. So here's my challenge for you today. Draw near to God. I can't or I won't tell you how many times I've turned my back on God today. But I mourn. I repent. I want to draw near to God. Friend, He will exalt you when you draw near to God. It's in our submission to God that the devil loses his influence over our lives. It's in our closeness, our nearness to God, is when the world doesn't look so great. It's in our love of Christ. That's when our love of sin diminishes. So today, friend, draw near to God and prepare to be lifted up by God like a father who smiles and embraces his child. When we draw near to God, we will win the day.